Of light sleet across northern Harris County and Montgomery County, so it's beginning to come down in many parts of the area. Now, that being said, temperatures at the surface for the moment are still above freezing, so what's falling is not sticking. 37 degrees at Hobby, Bush 37, Tomball 36, Conroe 35, and in this area here, we're getting light sleet mixing with a few snowflakes. There's the first band beginning to develop across Houston and southeast Texas. Dallas getting very light precipitation, a little bit of snow up there as well. And it's filling in there between Dallas and Houston. Waco getting in on some light snow there as well. Zooming into our area, there's our first snow band beginning to set up. It's very light, and again, it's mostly ice pellets. Those are from on-the-ground reports. It's light, but a little snowflake is mixing in every now and then, stretching from all the way from Lake Livingston to Cleveland to Kingwood to Spring to the Woodlands, back to Cypress and to Katy, and all the way back to Austin County. Zooming in, and look at this, even inside the 610 loop now, radar picking up some very light sleet, mixing with snowflakes. That's pushing into the heights there across West 34th and 43rd Street. There's the heights, a couple little snowflakes falling there. Cloverleaf to Magnolia on the east side getting a little bit sleety as well. But you can see the darker colors here. That's where the sleet is a little bit heavier. Spring back to Cypress through the Klein area and then up to Roman Forest and Eastgate. Here's a closer view of Spring. There's the 99 connector. There's the Hardy Toll Road where it splits with I-45. Woodlands, a little bit of ice pellet action coming down right now. To northwest Harris County, Corville to Klein to Cypress to Deco, all getting light sleet. But this radar echo has been getting a little brighter and a little brighter every time it updates. We're in the light snow category, but on the ground reports are this is mostly very light sleet, little ice pellets coming down. Northeast side, there's Kingwood. Here's Lake Houston. There's the north side of Lake Houston. Dogwood Acres to Kingwood, up 59, 69 to Roman Forest and Splendora, getting light sleet pellets. And then back out to the west, there's Colorado County, Columbus to Belleville to Industry to Sealy, getting light sleet pellets as well. Now, this is about exactly how the models had expected this would go as we head into 8, 9 o'clock, beginning to get a little bit of light sleet and snow. Look how it expands between 8 o'clock and 11 o'clock. So that's when things begin to get more interesting. And as we drop below freezing here, temps 31 Liberty and Huntsville 29 by that time, then what's falling will begin to stick. Temps drop below freezing and a good solid band of moderate snow across the heart of Houston and southeast Texas. That's by 3 a.m. So hopefully you're just bundled up and sleeping as the snow and the sleet comes down, because roads will be getting treacherous overnight tonight. And by morning, it's still snowing and temps dropping into the 20s. So everything's sticking, and by that time we're talking about snow totals of 1, 2, 3, 4 inches. Still snowing along the coast to Galveston by 10 a.m. and then it finally exits after that. So that's the big picture of what's going on and the timeline of the snow and sleet to come down. Now, Pat Kavlin, you and I have been looking at snow total potentials very carefully for the past several days. And this could be one of the heaviest snows that Houston has ever seen if these models you're going to show us verify.
Now, so Dave, you grew up in Houston, right? And so you've actually been through, now what were the two biggest snowfalls that you've been through here?
Well, my most memorable one was 1973. Right. I believe it was January 73. Let's see, I would have been 5. And I remember throwing snowballs that morning with the big kids out on, we were living on King's Ride in the Memorial area, and it was just one of the most magical moments as a Houston kid you could ever have. But for the adults, it was no fun.
It's a headache.
Yeah, and I remember the roads being really slushy and Dad not wanting to go out.
And so this is really, to that point, Dave, this is like a once-in-a-generation type storm here. We could see those types of snow totals again by the time it gets to tomorrow. Here's the latest snowfall forecast that we've got running for you right now. We'll start to the west first. I think places like Columbus down to El Campo right now looks like probably around 2 inches, 1 inch as you go well off to the west. Then places like Fort Bend County, getting into Brazoria County, Austin, Colorado, up to 90. We could be in that 2 to 3 inch range. But I think as we get into Harris County and into parts of Montgomery County, 3 to 5 inches of snow, not out of the question. It really will ultimately depend on how fast we get that changeover from the sleet that we're seeing right now to just plain snow. And if we can get that changeover quick, we are going to have to pull that darker blue farther to the west to include some of those northern areas. But I do think the city will see 3 to 5 inches. And look at how far, look at this. The 3 to 5 inch snow contour goes all the way to the coast. We could see 3 to 5 inches of snow on Galveston Beach. Think about that. by the time we get to tomorrow morning. So really impressive numbers showing up here. And then that big jackpot, the big bullseye, will be out to the east along I-10, where we could see 5 to 7 inches plus in Louisiana. Weather impact alert in effect. This is for that heavy snow, for the sleet that started to come down already. This will be with us starting now, going all the way through noon Tuesday. That's when everything should quickly start to wrap up across the area. Travel will become extremely dangerous very quickly here, even within the next few hours with that sleet falling right now. Travel conditions will start to diminish rapidly and become almost impossible at times as we get into tomorrow. So weather impact alert in effect for tomorrow and for Wednesday. The reason we have it in effect for Wednesday is because we see a hard freeze late Tuesday getting into Wednesday morning. Conditions do improve, though, by the end of the week and the weekend. We'll talk about that warm up. We'll talk about a nice thaw coming up, and we'll do a deeper dive on radar and the models when we see you back here again in about 10 minutes. Dave?
And Pat, you mentioned this hard freeze going into Wednesday morning and the weather impact alert. This is why we have extended the weather impact alert into Wednesday, because there will still be, we believe, lots of ice and sleet on the ground. And overnight into Wednesday morning, temps are going to drop into the low 20s and teens, and that is going to freeze anything that's left on the ground. So roads, overpasses, little bridges could have lots of icy spots. I'd recommend not traveling now through the middle of Wednesday. After Wednesday afternoon, things should begin to improve. And again, Wednesday morning, people, pets, plants, and pipes, all the P's need to make sure they are protected at that point. All right, guys.